It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.
Ooh, get LifeVac and live. Words to live by. Welcome to the Man in the Arena. I'm Rick Fatscher, along with Arthur Lee, CEO, inventor of the LifeVac, and Patrick O'Rourke, stand-up comic extraordinaire. You know what? Extraordinaire.
Don't know why I'm here.
He says that every week.
Yes.
We know why he's here.
He knows his role.
Comic relief. Listen, I think it's exciting and to announce 3 new markets. Of course, this weekend, we're not only, as always, being heard in LA, Houston, Orlando, and of course, New York City, but now we are joined by San Diego, Dallas, and Allentown, PA. The fastest growing podcast in America.
I know it is exciting, but I think that people are they're hungry for a Man in the Arena. You know, it was at Newsmax today. You know, blah blah blah, and then you bring these people on, and they're like, "Well, I think, you think." Well, okay, well we're in it.
You are doing.
The goal is to have people on that are in the arena, that are dealing with the problems that they go, well, back to you, Bill. China's invaded us with knockoffs. How's it going? Like, come on, we got to deal with that.
And we'll have updates. Last week we talked about LifeVac goes to Washington. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight. We have a really special save story, which many aspects of or many parts of our company were involved in this great save. But we're also
Tentacles.
Yeah, we're also hinting at next week we take on Washington. But you had
tentacles.
You're always busy, but what an amazing media day, ending up on the Man in the Arena tonight.
Well,
but where did it start?
The biggest show for left.
Of course.
And the fastest growing podcast
growing podcast in America, as measured by the Warners.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we have our studio audience. We have expanded our studio audience.
Exactly. And I have to introduce Maria, the intern.
Yes.
Unbelievable impact. First couple of days, she's doing great stuff. But tell me about your day.
So
started early.
It started early. I was on WPIX, New York, local news. And, you know, it was kind of, for me, it was almost a step back in time. You know, they were like, so, you know, what do you do?
Okay. I got to go through this again.
What inspired you? But that's fine. And I think hopefully the story of being in my garage and doing something to save my daughter inspires people to take on insane, unbelievable windmills with a stick, you know? But what was cool on that is, you know, the host didn't really know. You know, and for me, it's almost at this point, you know, I'm like just watching her go, really? Oh my God, you did that, you know? And, you know, I'm going to demo Charlie. She stands him up. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a little difficult for me to demo. But that's when I knew that she didn't know.
First time.
And nothing against her. She was lovely and she did a great job. But it really was another little God wink of saying people don't know.
Right.
Right. She's a mother. She didn't know. So hopefully WPIX in the morning, you did good.
So PIX, I thought CBS, I saw a picture from CBS. We were getting pictures throughout the day. No, we'll talk about Deborah Norville.
Well, that was the next stop.
That was the next stop.
Yeah, because Deborah Norville's leaving Inside Edition. She's been on, I think, close to 30 years.
Wow.
So I go there, and that was pretty cool too, because I walk in and this lovely producer person comes out and introduce, and we're walking to go to film, and boom, I walk into Deborah Norville. Now, she spoke at our 1,000 live save, and you know, once again, this is a little God giving us some reality. I said, you know, we're at 4,000 now, and she's like, "What? Really?"
Yeah. You blinked.
Yeah, and then I was able to say, you know, the show and you have saved over 100 lives. Over 100 lives have said, we've seen the segment on Inside Edition. We got it. We saved a life. And she started tearing up, you know, and it was cool show of her soul of the fact. And I know because she did care and she made a very, were you there? You weren't there for, you were there.
Absolutely.
You heard her speech.
Absolutely.
You weren't there. You were.
I'm never there.
He was busy that night.
Wedding or something.
He's not really here.
At PIX? Was Joe Franklin there?
No.
Is he alive?
I think he's retired. He's still
That's
somewhere in the
exactly
Sounds
basement.
like the
what I
kind of show
think
you
too.
walked into. It's like,
Yeah,
so what do you do?
Yeah, exactly. But the so it was cool. It was nice because I hadn't planned to see her, but so I got to talk to her a little bit and update her, and I could see her emotions.
Yeah.
And to to spend that much time and now going out to kind of have that come up and say you made an impact.
Yeah.
And this one I can tell you by the numbers you made an impact.
Amazing. She's on the leader. She leads the leaderboard of
Inside
Media
Edition, yeah.
Inspired. So Brian
It's 100.
Kilmeade, Fox
He's
News
second.
Channel.
Kilmeade's
Mike
second.
Rowe is on there.
He's third. Joe's fourth.
Joe Piscopo
Big Joe.
coming fourth.
But
And
Joe,
it's such a
you know,
great
Joe just started.
competition.
well, Joe's a little harder because he's been more of a presence at our events, and he talks about it in general, so you can't quantify it as easily. But yeah, Brian's second. I told him last night he's in the high 30s now.
And they, take that moment as they celebrate Deborah Norville's career in television. And I know she's making a move. She's not leaving completely, but she must think about the impact that she has just on the viewers. But this is quantified.
Right.
Lives that she impacted, families. And we talk about the, behind the numbers. And part of the greatest portion of the Saved Life report is that, I think near the end of the report, is how did you hear about LifeVac?
Yeah.
And that is when the Deborah Norvilles get mentioned, or Inside Edition, or
Brian
Kilmeade,
Kilmeade.
certainly.
Yeah, and I always I love seeing Brian, right? Because we know him, grew up with him, he's a friend. But yeah, I was able to say you, without a doubt. I'm sure there are more that you'll find out someday.
Yeah,
but that was a cool moment.
You know what? If you don't mind, remind the listeners and Pat about the the viewers and Pat.
Is your role to also be informed
again? Okay, that's why I'm here. Remind me
about this incredible story when it was just you and the Small LifeVac team and the Warners, Plunkett, and you were up near Buffalo.
Singer.
You're up
Tom,
near
Steve.
the team. But you were up near Buffalo and your phone rang about an entrepreneur show, and who was looking out for you in the back of his mind, like, hey,
Brian.
Yeah.
Well, that's in the arena. You want to read the book, you'll know the bigger. But I was, and Niagara Falls has always been a part of my heart because during my accident, that's where we were going. I'm walking up to the falls. It's emotional. I'm remembering my friends. My phone rings, unknown number. I'm not answering my phone. Duh.
Not at the falls.
Yeah, and
first of the night.
First time I've been there since the accident. I'm thinking of my friends, so I just hang up. I walk 2 more feet, and it rings. It says Brian. Now, Brian don't really call you. He's a busy guy. He calls you. You answer the phone. So I'm like, I don't know why. There's a reason.
I'm taking this.
So I talked to him, and I had bugged him for years to be on, but I understand we had a sync plunger glued together. He's not ready to put us on, national television. It was a life-saving device. And they had a segment on entrepreneurs, and Brian got me in. And that was really our first boost in public awareness. But as I'm walking up to Niagara Falls.
Right. The timing and the
People
people involved.
Yeah. That
great
term
example.
I got from the Waters in our studio audience.
Oh, that's another thing we learned tonight. Yeah. It would come from them.
What do you think, Pat?
I agree. It's God.
No. Great story, though. Great story.
It is. Well, Brian's always throwing gasoline on people's fire. He knew he saw something there, and he's like, I want to help him. He always does that.
Yes. Yes. And I had I trusted him to do when appropriate. And the first chance he got that, he could put me in as an entrepreneur, he did. And that's, Brian's numbers are probably off too.
Right.
Yeah.
In general, underreported for sure.
Yeah. Even from his radio show, that's nationwide. I mean, come on, he's got to be. I remember I heard you on his radio show the first time, and you made that announcement. Yeah, I'll give him away to schools. Remember?
Yeah.
I almost crashed the car.
Yeah. So you weren't the
Several
only
people
one.
in the company.
Finance guy
I
almost crashed
heard.
the car. Plunk almost crashed the car. He did it again.
Great time to remind folks that are listening to get the original LifeVac, get Arthur's book, get the original LifeVac, protect those you love. Go to lifevac.net. Beware of the knockoffs. www.lifevac.net. Use code MITA. Why not? Save some money while you're protecting those you love. Get a copy of that book. We reference this book a lot and it's worth mentioning. Author. Sorry, can't is a lie. You can get it at lifevac.net. And we talk about this book a lot. Some of the things that inspired you. I think that story is in that.
Oh yeah,
book. It's
that
one of my
one's
faves.
definitely. It's in the chapter of like Hall of Fame Godwinks.
Yep.
Thank you, Warners.
Great stuff. And you know, from time to time we have over 4,000 lives saved, those that are reported, and every once in a while a story comes over. They're all incredible. They're all lives saved, communities touched, communities saved from a family saved from a choking tragedy. But this one, May 1st, that we are able to share tonight with the players.
Crazy.
Yeah, just a crazy, crazy story. This has saved 4,029. And I believe from Staten Island, Mr. Angel Augusta is joining us tonight. Angel, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
We're incredibly well. I
I would
appreciate that
say,
you're here.
you know, seeing you and having you on, I would say I'm incredibly grateful right now. I got to tell you, that story came over, your story, and I was I cried a little because it's so powerful. And is Angel going to tell the story?
Yeah.
Because I could recite it by heart from what I know now because it was so beautiful. But
Yeah, the date of the incident. Listen, I think you received the gift of LifeVac in May of 24, so less than a year. But the date, April 25th, you were driving, and let's not. I mean, part of the story that is just so amazing is that you're on your way, and I'll let you tell it. But you're on your way to have a child with your wife, driving to the hospital.
I know this one. We talked about this at the game.
I know.
Yeah, Angel, take it away.
Yeah, it all started with it was a day of finals in school, so I'm rushing home from Queens and we're getting everything ready. And I had to take her to go get induced around 8 o'clock. And it's funny because usually I just let the GPS take me to the hospital and I don't pay my wife any mind. But this day I did pay her, some mind and going to the hospital. And we made all the right turns, and maybe like a block away from the hospital, we noticed a gentleman running in the dark. I'm sorry, I'm like shaky just even going back through it.
oh man, unbelievable.
Take your time.
And it was so I see the gentleman running in the night. I'm thinking nothing of it. I'm thinking maybe he's trying to beat traffic. But then I noticed that when he got in the middle lane, he jumped in front of my car, holding his hands up, holding a child. So he almost gets hit by my car. And then there was a second car in the right lane for me that almost hit him as well. And then that's when me and my wife noticed that the baby was almost like unconscious. Her arms were flailing. And that's when we both noticed that the baby was choking. And without a second thought, I put the car in park. I grabbed the LifeVac from my glove box because I have it there. I have the driver's size there. And I just ran out, and I tried not to lose him in the night. And I was able to reach him. He was running towards a medical office, and I'm trying to set everything up right in front of the medical office. He had rung the bell, and I heard the buzzer go off. Without thinking, I grabbed everything and I ran behind him. Something told me, don't let that door close in between you two. So when we got inside, the nurse that was behind the desk, she's trying to figure out what's going on. So I tell her that the baby is choking. She buzzed the second door. We go in again, and we go into the first office. So that's when Dad, holding the baby, threw himself on his knees, completely helpless, holding his daughter. And under that bright light, I noticed that the baby was completely blue, completely purple, and she had this blank stare, like staring into space. And without hesitating, I just told Dad I need to open her mouth. So I opened her mouth, and in one try, I dislodged whatever it was in her mouth. And with the hecticness and how quickly everything happened, I didn't notice what it was, but I heard her breathe. And she was able to gain function of her arms and legs, and she was able to sit up on Dad's lap. And she gave me this stare like, who are you? And
Angel.
I'm your angel.
man, and
Listen,
it's
amazing.
I never wanted to hug a stranger's child so much in my life.
And I bet you she wanted to
So-
hug you too. Hey, listen, we're gonna, if it's okay, we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back
Yes.
with more Angel Agosta in a
Holy
life-saving,
cow!
incredible
What a time
story.
For a break. I
Well,
would blow my
hey.
head off. What the heck? God.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Stay
And
with
then
us
what happened?
with
We're on
more
a
on the
break?
Man in the Arena,
Oh.
as everyone complains.
She started to choke on a piece of candy.
She wasn't breathing.
Then Ray reached for the LifeVac and it saved her.
She could have easily died that day. A LifeVac saved her life. What I would say is don't need a LifeVac and not have it. Have a LifeVac and hopefully never need it.
Recently, the American Red Cross has added anti-choking devices as an option when standard protocol fails or is not feasible.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-543-3822.
To the Man in the Arena, we Arthur Lee, along with Pat O'Rourke and
Please tell
myself,
me
Rick
Angel's
Fatscher.
still here. I
Angel,
will
yeah, if we
freak
lost
out.
Angel, we'd be very upset. But before the break, we were talking to Angel Agosta about an incredible save. We call them saves,
Oh,
but
thank God he's here.
Angel, you're there. So
Yes.
to refresh, you are at the point where, go ahead, pick it up where you just have removed the obstruction from the baby.
Wait,
go ahead.
because I know this from people. When she took that breath, was that the greatest sound, greatest thing ever?
I just felt the biggest weight, the heaviest
Right?
weight off my shoulders when I heard that.
Yeah, Mr. 3000 will tell you the same thing, and that's where I get the passion of the moment. Like in that baby in the save with the mom outside, when you hear her cry, it's the greatest noise ever. But I knew that moment would hit you and impact you. But go ahead, please tell your story. Continue.
Yes. So me and her locked eyes, and like how you mentioned right now, when you hear that cry, it's the greatest feeling. But in this situation, I did not hear the cry. So she just staring at me, like trying to figure out who I was. And I'm a former EMT, and they told us in school all the time that a crying baby is a good baby. So I took that to heart, and I realized, I'm like, I don't know if everything is out. She is a little too calm. Yes, she could be resilient, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I told Dad, we're already heading to the hospital, so get in the car and we'll take you. And he jumped up. We ran into the car, and Mom showed up.
From Shaolin.
We
And
drove.
now, how is
So
How was your wife handling
just
this?
so we know. So you, your wife, this gentleman, his baby, all hop in the car to go to the hospital together.
And his wife, yes, because the mom was outside. She couldn't reach into the medical office right before we got buzzed in. My wife stood outside. There was not much she could really do, but she got on 911 and she was talking to the dispatch. She was on the phone still when we ended up running out. Everything happened so fast that even the doctor at the medical office couldn't react in time.
no
So-
copay? They're not going to.
So
Yes,
now
they
you
will.
get in
Yes,
the
you
car.
walk in that door, you get a copay.
Yeah.
So
You
this
get a
already,
bill in the mail.
this already incredible
Door
story gets
opening.
even more incredible in terms of like full circle, full team. Is that you ran into a member of the LifeVac team, Roadshow Ryan, who joins us tonight. I think he's in New Jersey tonight, but you saw him in Staten Island?
No, in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, just,
this is
just
the
a few,
Costco
a few
connection.
weeks.
The boogie
yes,
down.
the Costco connection. Ryan Warner. We call him Roadshow Ryan. Joins us tonight.
What's up, LifeVackers?
All right, we're gonna go to
Hi,
commercial.
Ryan.
Yeah. Everyone's a critic.
That's amazing.
the
You're a
time,
hero, Angel.
I appreciate you, Ryan. Without you, it wouldn't have gotten done. I'm telling you.
Unbelievable.
So,
So
My
Angel,
body's shaking
Angel,
now.
talk about your interaction with our hero Ryan.
Yeah, it just happened at work. I clocked in and I go to my section to start working, and I noticed that at the last aisle they had the roadshow, and he was set up with the mannequin and he had everything set up, and I had it for a while now, about a year, and up until that point I never used it. So I figured, might as well get some training because I have the travel size, so they don't come with the The training, yes. So I figured, it makes no sense to have it and not know how to use it. So why not go and get that experience right there? And it took me a few tries, but Ryan helped me through it and I was able to get it. And that's his voice actually played in my head the day of the
Oh my
incident.
God, how cool is that, Ryan?
I got the chills. This is
Yeah, no kidding.
incredible.
Now,
you-
Ryan, do you remember Angel now?
I do. Yeah, you came up to me before they opened, right?
It was already late. It was in the afternoon. I was with one of my
afternoon.
managers walking by. Yes.
So you
I
It
do-
was
worked
more
at
towards
Costco.
closing.
I remember the beard.
Yeah, I wish I could stand out a little. But Ryan, what does it feel like hearing the story? Like, I texted you because I was so proud of you, and I'm always proud of you, and I'm always proud the way you treat people and care about everyone and care about the mission and travel all over the place by yourself to help save others. How does it feel to really know that you were part of saving that baby's life?
It's incredible, and it makes me want to keep going and just keep spreading the word of LifeVac and teaching people how to use it and helping save as many lives as we can out there.
To me, the big thing is, when you do something repetitive, it's sometimes can be difficult to remotivate yourself, right? You forget the significance of what you're doing. And I think when I messaged you, I said that's the beauty of you, that you do realize what's at stake and you do put everything into each person you show it to.
Yep.
Yeah, the humility of Angel, of being a former EMT, having been with Ryan at Costco road shows, and for a good length of time, a lot of people walk by, a lot of people say have one, they're proud.
I'm good.
And Ryan will always ask, "You want to try? Have you tried it? Have you practiced it?" And
Every person.
and I can picture a lot of people say, "No, I'm good. I'm good." But as a former EMT, to say, you know what, it's a good idea for me to put my hands on this and get some practical training.
Well, that's humility.
It's fantastic.
And Ryan Angel. Oh my goodness, I got two angels. The
Rangel.
You guys are a combo, Rangel now. That Angel, you were humble enough to realize that it never hurts to learn more, right?
That's true. That's true. You never know enough, and it's always good to practice. Practice, you got to stay practicing for the moment that it actually happens.
I love this guy.
Yeah,
He's like a
no,
drill
he's
sergeant.
so
I love this
amazing.
guy.
So,
What'd you have, boy or girl?
Baby boy,
What's his name?
Liam.
Liam. Liam. Irish.
Yeah,
Pretty much
Liam,
I can't believe it's coming out of your mouth. Is your wife
Yes,
Irish?
baby boy. She is more towards like her grandparents' side, but she's Italian.
Whoa.
Yes,
How'd you
I'm
get
married
Liam?
into it.
You lose a bet?
No, she actually liked it. She's the one that picked it.
That's a great name. She ended
Yeah,
up
she
William.
picked it.
And do you have other kids besides Liam?
Yes, I have the much older kids, the step kids from her side, and then we share the last two. So my 5-year-old Ethan and Liam. Ethan is the reason why I ended up buying the LifeVac.
Right? Yeah.
Amazing. Now,
Well, you think about it, he helped save a life too, right? But
Yes.
So I gotta know. So when you put on your Superman cape, you run out of the car. Does your wife slide over and drive the car now?
No, she runs out as well.
You can't fix it.
My wife, she's not gonna stick around and just be a bystander. She ran out, but being that she's pregnant and all, she couldn't reach the door in time, so she just stood outside and called 911 and did her part with calling.
Like heroes.
They're superheroes. This is cape stuff.
Amazing.
So now before he's going to the hospital, he goes to have his child checked out that you saved. How long until you have your son?
Oh, it wasn't until the next day. Yes, 7:22 the next day. He put my wife through the ringer.
That's cool.
So it wasn't full labor, but still miraculous and heroic.
I hope you and your wife and your kids can come out someday to the Hall of Saves. We'd love to meet you. You are a hero. You're a hero, and your name is totally appropriate.
And we can't pay you, but we'll feed you.
Yeah,
come on out.
Nothing fancy.
That'll be great with my kids.
No, we can't. We'll negotiate it.
Let me ask you this, Angel. Are you in touch? Have you been in touch with the family of the?
Unfortunately, no. I would like to because I have a feeling that they live around the area because the hospital is not that far from the location where it happened. It's just a really long block. And it just felt like Dad just instinctively ran there. So I have this feeling that they were around. Like with Dad, I wouldn't recognize him because I was so focused on the little girl. But if I was to see her again, I would definitely notice. I would love to see them again just to see how they're doing. But
Story like this, she's gonna be
fingers
president
crossed.
Yeah.
and she's gonna say, "Some guy saved me with a LifeVac when I
Yeah.
was 2 years old."
Well, there'll be a further Godwink.
Yeah,
She'll
definitely.
see
Yeah.
him. There'll be something. There's no way that these many connections and teamwork, from Ryan working with you to having one for your other child, to having the courage to get up and run to help someone else, especially with such, your own. What amazes me about your soul, you had your pretty much the top of the line responsibility. Your wife's having a baby, but your instinct and your courage and your soul said, she's okay. I can help that person, right?
Yes.
And you knew from experience and faith and that person needed help, and
Yes.
you were willing to say, I'm okay enough that I can help that person. That's absolutely hero, God hero. So this is one in all my 13 years of doing this and 4,000 plus saves. This is up there. This is a Hall of Famer.
I concur.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I still can't get over Liam.
And I can't believe as we speak,
Who's your next
Angel,
kid, Seamus?
for those listening, Ryan is in a Costco right now in New Jersey, and he is, as we are listening to this story, looking for the next miracle, the next person, the next
next
family
angel.
to impact.
Yes.
Why is
Yep.
Ryan dragging people into the booth? What's he doing?
I'm training everyone. It's mandatory now.
Yes.
He's in the Costco arena, and we're so proud of him.
Yeah.
Ryan, thanks so much. We're going to let you get back to work.
Thank you, guys. Angel.
Ryan.
So, Angel, do you work at Costco as well?
Yes, I do.
And were you aware that I asked you earlier when speaking to you on the phone, how did you become aware of LifeVac, over a year ago?
That was just through Instagram, just social media. I kept seeing it because being that I'm a former EMT, I still follow medical pages and stuff like that. So it just kept popping up. Once you like it once, it keeps popping up on your feed. And it's just something that stuck with me. I always thought about it. And it wasn't until a situation with Mike, the situation from Jersey Shore, where he had an incident with his child. That's what really sealed the deal for me.
Situation with the guy named The Situation. So,
So that put it over the top. You were aware of LifeVac, and then when you saw that, and I believe that was Inside Edition as well. I think,
know.
yeah. But it was the situation.
Went
I never
viral.
watched the Jersey Shore, but there's good in everybody, right? I never watched the show, but that put you over the top, and you ordered. Were you concerned at all, or were you aware of the prevalence of knockoffs and counterfeits?
I did, yes, I did see a few of them pop up and stuff like that, but that's what made me kind of like sit on the idea of LifeVac and just like see if it was the real deal. And then I did, and then when I saw the video of the situation doing it with his child, and it actually working, because my son, he used to stuff food in his mouth all the time, so my fear was having him choke as well. So I stood on it, and then it's just LifeVac kept popping up. Like all the other names, they never really stuck. So I had a feeling that LifeVac was the real deal. And fast forward to today, it is definitely the real deal.
Yeah. 4,029. I mean, were you aware of the numbers as they've accelerated beyond, like you just talked about last summer being Deborah Norville for 1,000 lives?
You know what, Angel? When we put this save on the Hall of Saves, this thing behind us that the radio people can't see, but it's thousands of lives and pictures in our place. We'd love to have you come put that save on the wall.
That would be amazing. I would love to.
And that would really be great for all of us in our hearts and souls. And it's a cool moment. And looking at 4,000 pictures, and you can go up and read each one, and there's a little bit of a story, what they choked on, what number they save. And, we end the show with Mr. 3000, and he was his daughter was the 3,000th life we saved. And you were pretty close to 4,000.
4,029. Well,
whoa.
Yeah.
Still get 5.
But
still available.
Yeah,
it's out there.
Yes.
You're always welcome out here. You are a hero,
we gotta
as
set
Arthur
that up.
said. Yeah,
We
we'll
hang
set that up.
safe.
Thank you so
I
much for
appreciate
joining us
that.
tonight, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, Angel.
All right.
You're a hero,
Yes.
and thank you for sharing. That means a lot.
Yes, thank you guys. I appreciate it for having me.
Great.
Wow.
That was great.
Angel Agosta from Staten Island, and a former EMT, dad to be, on the way to the hospital, sees a motorist, a family in crisis, and
come on, this
steps
is
into
this
action.
your alley.
Even
Could
a
you
couple days
imagine
before.
say to your wife, honey, hold on to the baby for a
No, I
second?
can't.
Listen, we all thought it.
Right?
We all thought it.
I probably would have run the guy over. Like, he's in my way.
Yeah. Like, I just.
But you could tell he had a good heart, that guy. I mean, everything.
Well, you know
about
what
him was-
helped? Because I thought he'd be in the doghouse. Like, I don't care what
Yes.
you did. Your wife would hate you forever
Yes.
for leaving her.
I'm fascinated with his story. I want to know more about him
I
and his
know.
wife. Like,
I
what
know,
do they
me
do?
too.
How do what's going on?
Well, that's
there?
why we got to have him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think of looking over and saying, honey, I'll be right back. As she's going to be induced to
Yeah.
have our child.
You what?
I'm just going to jump out of the car and run after this guy.
Leave the car in traffic. Take it.
I think
I'll be over
you
here.
know what the detail
And
that
then
made
he
it,
says she was behind them.
getting involved too. She's also getting out and trying to help. But I
I
think
love
the
the way he's
major
like,
difference.
Yo, she wasn't as quick. Yeah,
'cause she's pregnant.
Yeah, she bent over. She couldn't get the door. 'cause
Yeah,
9 months
yeah.
pregnant. Okay. So I started yelling at her.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah.
Hurry up.
Still miraculous, but I think the difference is going to get induced. If she had been in labor, I think it would have been a much different reaction
Yeah, I
from
don't know,
mom.
man. It's
Yeah.
pretty close. That if I said,
Yeah.
by the way, hang on a
Yeah.
second, I don't.
Yeah.
It was like 9 months. I couldn't say.
And it was
that.
also their second kid. So
Yeah.
the first one's a different story. The second one, you're buying a barbecue on the way home, right? You don't even care. The first one, you're afraid to drive home even.
Oh, that's was me, man.
And I couldn't get my head around Rick doesn't know Jersey Shore. You know Snooki has a son named Lorenzo. Come on.
Oh, this is part of your act.
No, it's not.
This is, no, I know that this is in your
wait,
act.
but that's a cool point. Your first child, like you're a lunatic.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember how nervous you were driving home from the
Oh.
hospital. And they show you how to buckle them in.
Yeah,
And I
we were like,
car
"Can you
seat.
keep
by my
them
third, I'm
longer?"
not kidding. We were like, oh, we got to stop at Price Club on the way home.
Yeah.
yeah.
Poor Caroline, my third one.
I
think we put her on the roof. Oh, is she up there?
But that's true.
Yep.
And I remember practicing swaddling.
Oh,
and
If something fell on the floor, you boiled it for an hour.
yeah,
By the third one, 5-second rule, whatever.
Yeah.
you
Yep.
just put the food on the floor to eat up.
Look how good I turned out. I'm the 5th of 6.
See, it
That's
works.
why. You know, you
Wow. I don't know how much. Oh, we have 1 minute. Well, so listen,
we're
let's wrap up. What a great story. Angel Agosta talking about the 4,029th save. Each one, like we talk about the numbers so much, but it's so great to hear the story behind, the details behind,
That
and the
was
fact that
just
Ryan
nice.
Warner came involved where he didn't have the confidence Angel did, even though he's a former EMT and it's a simple device to use. At first,
Well, the way it came out,
yeah, he just
said I
didn't know
wasn't,
how to
you
do
know,
it.
I wasn't really comfortable, and like this guy told me how to do it, and we're like, that's Rojo Ryan,
That's him, man.
and that's because he cares and he always does a good job, make sure that he knows what's at stake.
Oh, as you'd say, a God wink. He probably knew in a week I'm gonna have to use this. So you know,
Yeah,
I got to
Yeah.
get training.
I got 3 days to
It's
learn
amazing.
this thing.
That stuff happens a lot where
Yeah.
it got here a week before or just arrived or we just moved and we knew it was in the closet or a week before
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah,
needed
that
it.
happens.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Well, you're listening to The Man in the Arena. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more, talking about going to Washington, talking more about saving
I want
lives,
to talk about Newsmax.
and we're going to talk about Newsmax. Yeah, Arthur Lee,
Yeah.
Pat O'Rourke, Rick Fatscher, The Man in the Arena. Join us on the other side.
Ben Carson here with a potentially life-saving message. I may be a retired neurosurgeon, but trying to help save lives is something I'll never stop doing. Every year, this world loses around 5,000 lives that could have been saved from choking accidents. That's why I've partnered with LifeVac, a company based right here in the USA. It's simple to use, can be used on adults and children, plus it's guaranteed for life. Most importantly, if you ever have to use it in an emergency, they replace it for free. Join me on my mission to ensure every home, business, restaurant, and school in this country has a LifeVac. Go to the lifevac.net and order your very own life-saving device today. Thank you.
Dr.
For those
who am I?
watching,
What the heck is wrong?
for those watching on YouTube and Facebook, you just heard from Dr. Ben Carson, great advocate for LifeVac. I
Brain
don't know if we
surgeon.
heard that on the Man in the Arena
Well, I was
national
here,
podcast,
I
but
was here this week filming some commercials with Jackie and my daughter, and I got a text and I talked to him and Candy. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like my life is insane.
Yeah.
I get it. I get. Oh, hang on. I have to go speak with Dr. Ben Carson and his wife.
it's amazing, right?
Because I'm filming a commercial with my daughter on the sink plunger that we made in our garage 13 years ago. That's now saving 4,000 lives.
Amazing.
You think that's what's in your growing up list?
But we've said in these circles, we say it a lot with Brian, we say it a lot with Arthur Lee, and the LifeVac circle is so many pinch me,
Yeah.
am I dreaming
crazy.
moments.
Yeah,
You call
it's
them God
nuts.
wings.
Yeah.
So
Well,
so
check this
today,
out. So
CBS,
I'm on.
then Deborah Norville,
the last
and then
one,
Newsmax.
This has been the best because of Angel's story. But so I'm on Newsmax, and I'm just thinking, and I've been on it a bunch of times, and it is what it is. Newsmax and Fox have showed stories about LifeVac and saved lives. There's been no other coverage for whatever reason, but
Yeah, it's not
so-
political, for
yeah,
God's sakes.
no.
Choking is not
I don't
political.
get it. I don't even want to think about it. It's too
Right.
frustrating. But so
We don't need to see from Slightly Miffed.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need him
he's-
tonight.
He's all right. So I texted Donna and I said, "Can you tell me how many lives we were at the first time I was on Newsmax?" 350. 350 lives, and they've had us on a couple of times, bunch of times, been very supportive because they care about people being alive. What lunatics! Now we're over 4,000, almost 3,500 lives, 30 whatever, almost 4,000 lives
Right.
since I was on the first time they had me on. And I told the host that because now I kind of know him and I goof with him and I stick the LifeVac on my face and they have to try not to laugh. And they were grateful because I got to kind of know them. They're great people, both of them.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it was just a cool moment of progress.
Beyond
And the media helping, which is kind of what this turned into today. Thanking Brian, thanking Mike Rowe, thanking Joe Piscopo, thanking Deborah Norville.
Yeah, if we
Thanking
go back,
Newsmax.
if we go back to Eggs Up Grill and Baby Gabriel,
Yeah.
who's the patron saint of
Patron
media,
saint of
right?
Media, yeah.
So that probably
Did
was.
you know that?
What's that?
Gabriel, the baby who got us on Inside Edition, which was a big media hit, both his viral video of him being saved in the restaurant. He's the name.
Gabriel's patron saint of media?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh.
Media is only like 50 years old.
Listen, you're the Irish Catholic here. You should be
Yeah,
able to
I
tell
thought,
us
he
the
was I
saints.
thought he was a patron saint of like a
He's
desperate
a new
cause.
saint.
Gabriel.
No, I don't know. But that's what I
I'm
guess
serious.
maybe it was called something else then. But he is the patron saint
Okay.
of
We're going with media.
information.
Okay.
Yeah, and
In there
sharing.
somewhere it says media, but information or something. But
Did you know there was a Pope Hilarious?
no way.
It's my son's confirmation name. Yes. True story.
Hilarious.
Yeah, Connor's name is Connor Richard Hilarious O'Rourke. Yeah.
Really?
And no
He was a
relation,
Pope and a saint.
no
yes.
relation
And he
to
was funny.
Hilaria
That's how
Baldwin.
they
Oh,
got
and
the
mine
adjective.
is wrong. Can't be media.
A lot of the
But
popes
hilarious is-
became adjectives because of the hilarious, pious. There was a Pope Simplicius. He was a simple man.
Really?
That wasn't involving Leonard Skinner in any way, Simple Man?
No. But what were we talking about?
Our new
I don't
Pope.
know. This
That's
is more
the truth.
fun.
That's the truth. Yes.
That's very interesting.
No, we were
Gabriel.
talking about
See,
Eggs Up
that's why
Grill.
you're here.
Yes.
You have all
Yes.
this awesome internal Pope knowledge.
Well, I wanted my son Connor was hilarious, and Kevin was next. And I wanted to have him use Simplicius. My wife wouldn't let me. So
well,
he went to Rocco, the patron saint of dogs.
Jackie wanted Sarah because then she'd be Sarah Lee.
I get it.
That's
funny.
That's her.
Yeah.
She's
Nobody
like,
doesn't like Sarah Lee.
Should have taken
Right.
Bruce.
Nobody.
That was her point.
How about
Yeah.
Bruce?
Yeah. I had Ugg
Jackie Bruce Lee.
stud.
Come on.
I'd be all right with
Patron
those.
saint of
They were
karate.
funny.
Come on, here we go.
Yes, the patron saint of
We're
karate.
covering it all tonight on the Man in the Arena. We were finishing up with Newsmax on the heels of a monumental trip. We talked about it last week, and LifeVac goes to Washington.
In
So
the arena.
and yeah, that's a huge arena down there. And I think I've said it before, I think the climate is so favorable, and headwinds, or
Well,
we don't have headwinds. We have winds at our back.
We have our super intern here that just made us our presentation for the veterans. And it is in my head, it came out the way I want, right? It says we owe them, we need to take care of them. The American Red Cross now says when protocol does
not work, or is not feasible. Yep.
The ADA says they deserve a chance. And we've saved many, and we have 2 saves on it in the VAs. So the full circle, we get to go and say, look, they deserve a chance. It's the law.
Yep.
And if it wasn't, we should be doing it first anyway. So
And-
I'm excited. And it was cool that she made that up for us.
Do you have like a PowerPoint presentation? You know what you got to do?
We do.
You got to find an arena with 4,500
I know.
people in it, and
I
just
know.
put that up and go, this is what we've saved.
Yeah. Well, that's
Like
kind of what the whole saves is to. But
I
it's
know,
hard.
but an arena.
I
with
know.
it,
I
I'm
agree.
just-
How about this? 3,000 kids,
Yeah, well, even better.
right?
That's what I mean.
How sick would
Like
that
you were
be?
saying before, they're not Republicans, Democrats, they're kids.
Right. That's
Everyone,
the
you
point.
know.
That's the point. And I remember when Jackie graduated and I was counting, right? And because I was getting that, right? When you sit there, graduation for 2.5 hours, Bill Johnson, Debbie Johnson, we didn't even cover a third. And we watched all those kids go by,
Wow.
you know? And that's another way of saying the significance of that picture versus the number.
Yeah.
Well, someday it's going to be like Michigan Stadium, 100,000.
Yeah.
Take an aerial view. We've saved this many people.
Yeah, aerial. Love aerial.
And headwinds was correct,
a
by the way.
drone.
Planes always take off into the wind.
But headwinds, if
Mr.
you're
Knowledge.
facing headwinds, but we want the wind
Gets
at
me
our
nowhere
back.
in life. But
Yeah. Yeah, we're
I
gonna have
could
to
always come up with some
look into the
knowledge.
weather analogies. Wind at our back.
Storm
headwinds.
O'Rourke.
Yeah,
Yes.
Storm hilarious O'Rourke.
that's fascinating.
Oh,
Learning
but
so
do
much
you want
new
to talk?
stuff.
So we also got department
Patent
ICE.
office.
Patent office.
It follows the theme that I always say, like when people are saying, you know where you should be here, you should be anywhere where food is eaten. And if you talk about Washington, D.C. and all the government agencies
we're
that
really
cover
going
everything, we have so many people to talk to down there, including the VA, ICE,
Well, the big battle
and
is,
patent, of course, is
yeah.
a big.
Well, I think the big
PTAB,
one
yeah.
is Department of Justice because they could do something that would, and maybe it's a God wink that we are in this position, but you know, knockoffs are your problem. You got to go after them. That they violate your patent. It's your responsibility. In our case, all those products on Amazon are illegal. They have nothing to do with us. Has nothing. Even though they steal my image, they steal our product, they steal our everything, but they're illegal.
Mhm.
So a
And
couple
dangerous.
of them with the valve and the handle is going to kill someone. So we have to try. We have to try and bring it to light.
Yep,
I'm
bring it
not
to light.
pointing fingers.
And
I'm
much
just
like
saying
raising
this was
awareness
done.
of the device itself, raising awareness of the darker side
Well, the law
of the market, the law.
and danger
Mhm.
connected to the law. I mean, well, we're hopeful, right? We're hopeful, and the meeting with the patent office, hopeful.
Yeah.
I can go that way, but we'll know and we'll talk about it.
And we're not going alone. We're bringing Mike DeBello.
Yeah, we
But,
cannot
yeah,
lose. We have
new-
Mike DeBell. How
yeah.
can we lose?
He's got our legal back.
Yeah.
It's
Legend.
gonna be awesome. So that's next
Mikey D.
Wednesday. The next time we have this show, The Man in the Arena, we will be able to report back
I'm
on
scared.
the success
Yeah,
this
I like
trip.
that.
Not about what went wrong, all the
Wherever there's a
success.
fire extinguisher, there should be a LifeVac.
There you
Ah.
go, Pat.
Impromptu.
There you go.
Wherever
Right.
there's what are those hard things now that they have at all the baseball games?
Defibrillator?
There should be
AED.
a LifeVac.
The hard thing.
Yeah, the zapper. I don't know what it
the
is.
zapper.
The
I like
zapper.
it.
We've
Yeah.
all
Well, we used
tried
to
it.
be
We've
the
all tried it a
baseball
bunch of
You mean the bug one or
Yeah,
the,
we did
the ticker
butt-
one?
we did
The what?
Yeah, AED.
Did you say the butt thing?
No, the bug thing. I
Oh,
thought when you
bug.
said the zapper, I thought you,
The thing
the
was
thing
That
that's
one
in
too.
the
Don't
backyard.
lick those.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But whenever
those
there's
are
a bug
fun, though.
zapper, there should be a LifeVac.
Those are fun though. You chase people with that thing, you get the
I know.
one.
Illegals here again. You can't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oops.
Well, you are
Not
listening.
that I would do that.
You are listening to the hijinks of the LifeVac team. Arthur Lee, CEO, inventor. Pat O'Rourke is here with us, and I'm Rick Fatscher, and we're going to be back with, of course, Mr. 3000.
Yay,
Mr. 3000, Ray Priebe, Cape Coral, Florida, is going to talk to us about all the great statistics from saves this week.
I want to know.
So we're going to be back right after this.
So I'm saying last week was 4,029.
I was in the living room when I heard my son Carter, who was 2 at the time. I looked over and I saw him grabbing for his face and his throat. I grabbed the LifeVac. I put the mask on his face and placed push-pull. The LifeVac dislodged the ice cube from his airway and he started crying. The most amazing sound I've ever heard in my entire life. Please protect your family. Get a LifeVac.
Man in the Arena. Still Rick Fatscher, along with Arthur Lee and Pat O'Rourke. We have been talking about our trip to Washington, which is coming up only a week away.
What
and
a
then
show.
on the
Holy
heels of
cow.
that, oh yeah, we talked to Angel
That
Agosta
was
and Ryan Warner, who teamed up to save a life on the road. He's out for the rest of the year.
It's fun to see.
He's on the road. Road show.
Show ride.
We have his parents here. They're concerned
Do
about
your
the amount
radio
of travel.
Voice. Do your radio voice to say roadshow ride.
Roadshow Ryan.
Wow.
He will not be home for the holidays.
Yeah.
He's out saving lives.
Hey now.
Live from the Carrier Dome. Roadshow Ryan. So yeah, I mean, we check in with Roadshow, but who we do check in with every week, we don't talk to Roadshow enough, but Ray Priebe, Mr. 3000. Let's no further ado. Let's get to Mr. 3000. There he is.
Men in the Arena.
Hey, Mr. 3000.
FLA.
How's my favorite people in New York doing tonight?
We'd be good.
You know what?
How many people do you know in New York?
Listen, all I do know, Angel, really, I'm supposed to follow up to that story.
I know,
How
right?
about
Holy
Angel?
crap. What a
It's a mic
story.
drop.
Angel, if you're still watching, God bless you. What an amazing, amazing story you have. It's wow.
Ray, I was sitting there looking at you and him, and I'm like, how blessed are we, man? Hey, to look at that and see you and how you've come on to help others, and here he is telling that tough story to help others. It was a pretty powerful moment.
I'm not going to lie. I was listening to his story. I was tearing up a little bit. It was powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Parts of it remind us of your story and your
Definitely.
beautiful daughter and your heroic work.
Yes, it's funny that you say we're heroes and this and that, but I don't really think we are. We are people, and that's why we are here. We're here together to help one another.
Yeah, man.
And when people go and help each other, we're called heroes, but we're really not. We're people helping other people.
Ray, do you remember that quote that you had in the news story? Because it struck me, where there was a moment of, I don't know about doubt of humanity, but where you said people don't usually care. Or
I remember it vividly. Yep.
Yeah.
Because again, when for those who are just tuning in, don't know my story, I'm Mr. 3000. I saved my daughter on a Florida road coming home from a birthday party. She was choking on a piece of candy in the backseat of our car. Pulled over. In the process, 2 other motorists stopped who happened to have the LifeVac also. Apparently, they did see me performing back blows to my daughter that were unsuccessful, so they stopped to help in any way, which in today's world is unfortunate. There's going to be more people that drive by than the people that stop to help. But there are good Samaritans out there, such as Angel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you know what? That's hopeful stuff,
Yes.
Ray. And for him to, I still get chills that his wife is going to have a baby. He says, I have to go help. I mean, it's a good thing for people to hear and to know and to restore faith in each other.
Humanity is still alive.
Yeah, baby.
Absolutely.
So what numbers do you have for us this week?
Come on,
Man,
Ray.
we got great number, and I got a story for you guys. Oh, I don't think it's going to beat Angels, but it's a pretty good story. So, Bobby, go ahead and roll those numbers.
In between, I think it's more.
Here we go. Total live save. 4,053.
I had 51. I already had 51.
448 children saved. That is the graphic.
4,053 saved. 2,488 children to date. Let's just throw some numbers out there, guys. I love numbers, and here we go. 207 days since I saved my little girl. 1,053 saved in 207 days. I mean, let's just think about it. Today is the 15th. Cinco de Mayo was our big day of 4,000. So in 10 days, we have 53 saves just in the last 10 days. This week alone, 28 saves this week. Just great numbers, great numbers.
Well, quick, I know you're going to tell the best, one of the best parts, save of the week, but I was getting ready for something, and someone posted a 100 live save shirt, and they said how much they appreciate it. It was and Kathy, she'll get it. So I looked, and it took us 6 years to save 100 lives. 6 years.
Yes.
Now we do it in under a month.
Yeah.
So I thought you would dig that, Ray. I'll get you a 100 live save shirt just so you have a memento.
I did see that on Facebook, and I looked at it and said, wow, 100 saves in
6 years.
The length that LifeVac has gone since that shirt.
I like the pictures of you, Arthur, in front of the early Hall of Fame
6
pictures,
people?
where there's a smattering of pictures, but the look on your face of pride, it can only be what it has to be now to look at what's behind us.
Times
All right, Ray. Come on,
Ray.
baby.
You guys ready for this? I don't know, and this falls back to unreported saves, because this one actually just got reported, but it's going to go back a little bit. It's all the way back to Christmas Eve.
Oh my goodness.
So it happened a little while ago, but again, it was just reported. So again, folks, if you use your LifeVac, please report it. You get a new one for free.
Hey, now.
He's so good.
Here we go.
And use
A
code
5-year-old boy from Michigan choked on a chicken tender outside a Popeye's restaurant. The patient was unconscious, and LifeVac was used 2 times. Here are the details from the Good Samaritan who helped save the child's life. His father got him Popeye's chicken Christmas Eve, and we happened to be in the same parking lot. The man ran up to us with his lifeless son and told us he was choking on a piece. Yes.
I don't know if we can call in real quick, and because something just happened to the audio, and I'd hate to miss any of the details of this story. Would you be able to call in real quick, or give it one more try? Let's hear.
Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yes,
Yes,
clear now.
perfect.
All right. Maybe I just need to lower my voice. I get really hyped up when I'm doing these things.
Who's at
That's
Popeyes
all
on
right.
Christmas Eve?
More about that later.
All right, here we go. The man ran up to us with his lifeless son and told us he was choking on a piece of chicken. I jumped up and grabbed my LifeVac from the back seat, laid him on the ground, and began the recovery process of retrieving the chicken that was lodged in his throat. When I rubbed his chest, he came to a little bit, but wasn't getting much air. But after 2 times with the LifeVac, he started speaking and breathing. I stayed with him until EMS and police arrived, and they cleared him to be okay. Had we not been there, that boy could have died. His father had no phone and had no idea how to dislodge the food. Thank you, LifeVac.
And that was Christmas Day Eve?
That was Christmas Eve.
Oh, God, imagine that. Well,
wow.
There
I mean,
you go.
the tragedy
They got to make more
that
of
was
it.
avoided.
stupid elves.
No, they're good elves. They're making life.
Oh, sorry. Good elves.
Wow. It's sad that the audio kind of intermittent there,
Well, maybe
because it's
Joel
such an
can,
important story. Yeah,
what's
maybe
his
maybe
What's
we
that
can
guy's
We'll
name?
see.
fix
That's
this.
the magic of
Noel.
editing.
But anyway, I'm amazed when you share these stories.
I love that.
I love it. and even whether it's jumbled a little bit or the connection is lost a little bit, it's nothing's lost. The meaning isn't lost.
He finds it and he tells the story.
Yeah.
And that kid was saved on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
There you go.
I remember
Again, the tragedy. A tragedy was avoided on Christmas Eve. Instead of a sorrow Christmas, these families were touched with such joy.
For a good reason. That's a Christmas they'll never forget.
Yeah.
I mean,
Christmas miracles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Ray, give us
hit us your line.
Here we go. LifeVac. Far better to have it and never need it than need it and not have it. It's true peace of mind. The life you save could be your own. God bless. Have a great evening.
Thanks.
Great stuff, Ray. 3,000.
I want the 400 saves shirt because that's my weight. I've got to get one.
You know what?
Do you have it in 5X?
Said he have one on.
Yes,
I think.
exactly. I'm not going to fit in that. Come on.
Listen, fantastic show. I want to thank Arthur Lee, as always, Pat O'Rourke, and I'm Rick Fatscher again, Man in the Arena. We'll see you next week after we get back from Washington.
Yeah, big time.
Good luck, boys.
If Mike gets us back, I don't get locked up.
It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.